Hey there. Welcome to Freedom by Design. Anywhere is possible through e-commerce. This is a Listing Studios podcast where we're going to flip the script on what work and freedom can look like. Have you ever dreamt of building a business that lets you do life your way? Whether it's traveling the world, spending more time with your people, or even saying goodbye to that boss of yours, then you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Tina, global entrepreneur, e-commerce enthusiast, and your guide to turning your dreams into a reality that works for you. Here, we're diving into creative strategies, real-world tips, and share stories that will inspire you. So, go grab a coffee or wine, I'm not judging. Let's get comfy and let's talk about how to design a business and a life that you're obsessed with. Let's get started. All right, you guys, welcome back to Freedom by Design. This is the place where we talk about building a life and a business that gives you more time, more freedom, and more you. Today's guest is someone that I've worked with, that I've cheered on, that I've watched evolved in the most beautiful ways. Jenny is here with me today. From rocking the salon chair as a hairstylist for over 20 years. She does my hair. I drive an hour to get my hair cut with Jenny because it's so worth it. But she's also launched her own product-based business. She's now becoming, or is a certified functional nutritionist, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. And the big thing is she's preparing to move her family abroad. So she is definitely the definition of living life on your own terms. We're going to talk motherhood, entrepreneurship, and what it means to design a life that's simpler and more intentional. So let's dive in. Jenny, how are you?
Hi, it's so lovely to see you. One of my favorite people in the whole wide world. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you know, I love having women on the show because I love to put everybody on a platform, have a voice, share their stories because we all have stories, right? We all are like this like nugget in this world, and it's interesting to kind of think about it that way that even Charlotte, your daughter, has her own story. Um, but yeah, welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. I can't wait to just kind of dig in and see what you're doing, what your plans are, and just I'm what I'm hoping my subscribers will get out of this podcast today is this inspiration to just freaking do it. And you are like the epitome of just freaking do it. And so, why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself and then we'll just kind of go from there.
Yeah, when you say freaking do it, we are full body sending it, is as I like to put it right now in life, meaning we've sold all of our belongings and we will be moving abroad to Spain, which I'm really excited about. But yeah, I've been a stylist, a hairstylist for 23 years, and I have decided to make this career switch to a functional nutritionist at the age of 41. So you are never too old to completely switch careers and follow what feels more authentic to yourself. So
Yep.
yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm doing my functional business online, getting that freedom to work anywhere in the world. You know, as a hairstylist, you're trapped behind a chair. So any way to make income is at a hair salon, and you and I both love to freaking travel. As you're going to be experiencing what, 50 countries before the age of 50?
Yeah, I've got two left in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yes, I turned 50 in 2 weeks.
I know, I
Crazy
can't believe
thing.
it. You'll look a day over 35. But yeah, so to creating that life that like I also did everything that I wanted to in the hair world like 8 years ago. So the platform has just been I love getting dressed up, building people's confidence. I love doing hair, but now it's turned into a love for nutrition, which I have an online business, so I can do it anywhere in the world, which is so great.
Yeah, yeah. So when I first met you, so Jenny also used to work for Wonderwear. and also for listing studios. But when I first met you, you were selling your own product, more like lifestyle, jewelry, home living, things like that. How did you get in that space? Can you share a bit more about what that looked like at that time?
Yeah, so I had a jewelry business for about 9 years, and it was honestly during my hair career where I just got a little bored, to be honest. And I love jewelry, I love accessories. I always say like hair is your best accessory. It goes with you everywhere you go because obviously your hair is attached to your head. And that's the same with jewelry. It's the same with light fixtures. It's sort of that accessory. You could have the most basic outfit, like white t-shirt and jeans, but if you elevate it with some gold, beautiful gold chains, necklace, some great earrings, some bangles, all of a sudden that look is very expensive looking. The same with home decor. You know, you can have beautiful lighting that's the accessory of the home. And so it became just sort of an obsession. And I didn't think too hard about it. It was just one of those things where it was like full body, yes, just do it, just send, walk through the fear. I had never owned a product based company before. I had no idea what I was doing. I literally Googled my way through everything and figured it out. And then, when COVID hit, I really had to switch things to e-commerce because I had then at that time moved to a different state. So I didn't have
Right.
a brick and mortar to like support product based company. So yeah, when you found me, I was feeling a little lost. It was COVID. It was weird times. I didn't know what I wanted to do in the hair world, and my business was kind of weird because it went from brick and mortar to online.
Right. Yeah. And the hair world kind of ceased to exist for a little bit too, right? Um,
Totally, yeah.
so
Salons were
you've
closed.
so you've pivoted a few times in the couple of years that I've known you. And you have the most beautiful home. Like this girl's home can totally be on like a magazine cover with its own editorial pieces because I mean we've done photo shoots there, we've done video shoots there because it's just the perfect like place. It's beautiful. It's just clean and modern and beautiful. How did you like I know you didn't do it professionally. It's just something that you're passionate about. But how did you even come about that? Because sometimes we have a vision for our home. Like I have a vision for my home, but it's just I can redecorate it, but it will never be the same as you. And you, it's like kind of like a hairstylist, right? You go and you cut my hair and you flip it a few times, and then I look perfect. Same thing with your home. You're like, put a little paint there, put a little this here, and then it's perfect. Like how do you do that?
Well, that's so sweet of you. I do have a passion for being creative, obviously being a hairstylist, and I've been obsessed with interior design since I was a kid. Like I remember my family, I was a military kid, so I moved around all the time as a kid. And the big move was when I was 12 from Washington went to Wisconsin, and I was so sad, but I don't know if you remember the JCPenney catalog. It was so thick, and I would literally rip it up and make my own like interior design books as part of my entertainment. So it kind of started at that. But really, what I always tell people, if you're lost and you don't know like what your style is, like your home style,
Yeah.
go on Pinterest. Pinterest is amazing. And just start pinning things that bring you joy. So when I was remodeling my kitchen years ago, I was like, I don't even know what I want to do to it. I just started pinning things that brought me pure joy. And after I had 20 pictures, I was like, what do they have in common? Oh, they have white cabinets, gray walls, blah, blah, blah. Let's start there. But really the home is where you make like home is where your heart is.
Right.
It doesn't really matter like what it looks like aesthetically. Yes, that helps make it feel cozy and the blankets, the pillows, all of that. But as we move around the world with our 3-year-old, we were just in Mexico for 2 weeks, and my daughter, as we were walking to our room, was like, "Going home." And I love that because home to her, it doesn't matter if it's in a hotel room or
Hmm.
in a different country or not in her bed, but home is like where mom and dad are and her family, and that's like what's the
Yeah.
most important.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I love it. So then you're still a hairstylist. Are you still doing your jewelry and your candle business?
So now that we have made the pivot to sell all of our belongings and move to a different country, obviously that's a product, and I don't want to move that inventory
You don't want a
across.
luggage full of inventory with you?
No, not saying you can't have someone else make it or do it for you, but so I made my own skincare, my chapstick and my hydrating cream, mostly out of a pain point of not finding non-toxic skincare for my family, my baby. So I made it myself. The recipe is also on my website, so if people want to make it themselves, they can.
Awesome.
And so we'll probably still make it for ourselves, but yes, jewelry, I completely closed that chapter. Candles, I sell to some local candle or some local shops here that I will be stopping that and I will not be shipping it online because I do not want to bring all that inventory and product to Spain.
Yeah, so pretty much just sell out of everything.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. And then now, um, share with us your story as to how you then naturally and organically just evolved into the nutritional space.
Yeah, so like I said, 8 years ago, I pretty much had done everything that I wanted in the hair space. And I was very lost, I'm not gonna lie, for like 4 years. Like COVID threw a wrench in my life. I moved from Wisconsin to Washington in March of 2020. That is when COVID was in like started.
Right.
Um, so it was a very weird time for, as you know, everyone. And I spent like 4 years really, I still did hair, that June hair salons opened and I still did hair. I started working for you, doing t-shirts, all of that. I still have my jewelry business, but I was just really like confused as to like what I want, what fills up my cup. I feel like I had met all the goals that I wanted to.
Mhm.
And I had to sit in that for many, many years of just being still, listening to my thoughts, meditating, journaling. And then it wasn't until I had my child, when I got pregnant with her, I was like, wait, what am I putting into my body? What am I feeding myself? What am I putting onto my skin? What chemicals are in all of these products? And even I had to feed her formula. And at the time, we had a formula shortage.
Yeah.
That was very scary. And so I started to realize like how many chemicals were even in just like baby formula and how much
Right.
sugar and all of this stuff. And I was like, I
Process
can't
stuff.
believe this
Yeah.
is legal almost. And so I really went down a rabbit hole of figuring out what to feed my body, what to feed my child. And it became sort of an obsession. I have my own autoimmune disease that I was diagnosed with at 24. And it's called myasthenia gravis. Only 37 out of 100,000 people have this. And it takes 10 to 15 years to create an autoimmune disease.
Mm.
So I literally gave myself an autoimmune disease starting at the age of like 9 or 10. And it was
Wow.
because I just ate. I mean, bless my mom's soul, she was an amazing mom, but TV dinners were like the prized possession back in like the 90s, with the little TV tray and frozen meals. And
Yep.
so we definitely weren't eating a lot of clean protein and vegetables. I was that kid that ate my Halloween bucket in like one day and then would go steal my brother's candy. And and so you would think at 24 I would have gone it. So I went in remission and haven't had a symptom in 18 years. But not once did my doctors or any of my millions of doctors tell me it was because of my lifestyle or diet, and that's
Yeah.
why I got this autoimmune disease. They literally
Wow.
just said I had a cold that brought it on. It wasn't until I became a functional nutrition where I realized, oh my God, I gave myself this autoimmune disease by my poor eating. And so I just kept seeing so many people around me getting sicker, my dad battling with cancer, people that I love getting diagnosed with autoimmune diseases at a young age. 50% of American children have a chronic illness, which is so sad. And my heart pulled so hard in that direction. I just couldn't ignore it. And I just needed to get the education and their certification around it so that I could
Yeah.
start helping other people.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. So, you're now doing that full time,
Yes.
and you'll be able to do that from anywhere in the world. Um, as a client that starts your program, can you kind of take us through what that could look like?
Yeah, so I work with women and it's I have women that range from in all different ways. So I've worked with a woman and her 16-year-old daughter who just wanted to learn how to eat more protein and how to get excited about meal prepping and planning because that's a huge part of being successful with your eating
Yeah.
is prepping your food ahead of time. And then I have a client who is 65. She's gained a lot of weight. She has acid reflux, but on medication for that for years, wanted to get off all of her medication. She has low energy. Um, I've been working with her for a month and a half now. She's lost 30 pounds.
Wow.
She's has more energy. She was so embarrassed to see her friend. She never wanted to see them. So she's now making lunch plans with her friends. So it's one of those things where help women get their life back. But I
I
also
love
help
it.
reverse autoimmune diseases, suffering from my own autoimmune disease, but also just prevention too, what to feed your body, how much protein you should be having. But I create small, tangible habits at a time
Okay.
because if your goal is, you know, zero and or if you're at zero and your goal is 100, seems like such a far gap that
Yeah.
you're like, I'm never going to start because that's unattainable. But
Yeah.
if you start at zero and your goal is five, you're like, oh, I could totally do that. So my goal is to build small goals for my clients so that it's tangible, they can do it, and it's a lifetime change
I love it. I
for
love it.
them.
How long would someone be on a program or does that vary depending on their needs?
It varies depending on their needs. I always want to work with people at least 3 months because after the first month, you're just starting.
Mhm.
And when you start to get into gut healing, so my job is as a functional nutritionist is to get to the root cause of people's symptoms. So if someone goes to a doctor and they have a thyroid issue, most likely the doctor would give a medication to, you know, help with that one thyroid symptom. But what the doctor and the patient are not realizing is that the thyroid's actually a secondary symptom of what's going on in your body. And so if you can get to the root cause of why you're getting this thyroid issue in the first place and heal that, the thyroid issue just naturally goes away. And so what I do is help get to the root cause. So as I talk to my clients and get to, you know, one symptom to the next symptom, you start to reveal a lot of stuff that might need some healing. And so that's why I want at least 3 months with my clients so that we can uncover more stuff and really get on like a gut healing protocol so that they can get to a point where they can just have a good maintenance lifestyle meal plan.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. What are some of the simple things, ta simple and tangible things that we all can do to just live a healthier lifestyle? What would you say like the top 3 to 5 things would be?
Um, Less processed foods and seed oils. Um, we don't realize like
Less seed
how many
oils.
seed oils. Yes, get rid of
Okay.
seed oils. They're so inflammatory. People can go to Europe, eat exactly the same thing, and lose weight. They come to America, they eat exactly the same thing and gain weight. And it's not
Yeah.
fat weight, it's inflammatory weight because of all the seed oils that restaurants cook in that are in all our processed foods. It's canola oil, it's vegetable oil, it's saffron oil, it's sunflower oil. So try to stay away from seed oils and processed foods. Um, Eat more colorful vegetables, helps with digestion, fiber, pooping, all of that. I talk about poop a lot with my clients. It's not a weird topic, but your poop is a report card of what's going on in your gut.
It
So
really
even
is. Yeah, it
yeah,
really
so
is.
whoever's listening to this, you should be pooping once a day, a nice banana peel, soft poop. And if you're not, there could be something going on with your gut that needs a little bit of fixing. Um,
And if that's not the case, then reach out to Jenny.
Yes, I will help you poop more. You'd be surprised at how many people are constipated.
Oh, me
I
too.
used to be one
Yeah,
of them.
yeah, yeah.
So those are two things that you can clean up today, but honestly, it's even just mindset. I work with my clients with a lot of mindsets, unlocking self-limiting beliefs, because if your mind is not ready to make changes, you are never going to want to eat healthy or eat more protein or any of that stuff unless your mind is ready. So I help my clients a lot with their why. Like, why are you starting this? Is it to have more energy? Is it to be present with your kids? Is it to lose weight so that you can feel comfortable having lunch with your friends and have a social life again. So
Yeah.
I really get down to my clients like why they're doing it because everyone has that pain point of like when they've had enough and they're ready for a change. Because when things get hard with your nutrition, where you want to reach for the cookie or you just want to go to McDonald's because you're sick of eating protein, you have to reach deep for that why because that's going to help steer you in the right direction and remember why you're doing this in the first place. So know your why, veggies, less seed oils and processed foods, and then protein. You would be surprised at how many people do not get enough protein in their meal, like everyday meals. But so the amount of protein you should be getting is about 1 gram per ideal body weight. So if you want to weigh 130, you should be getting 130 grams of protein a day. It's a lot
Yeah,
harder than you think to most people.
definitely. Last year or maybe the year before, I counted calories for the first time ever and just kind of doing it for fun side by side with Steve. Steve's very um, driven when it comes to fitness, making sure that he's eating right, all of that stuff, because that's how he stays healthy, mind, body, and all. So I was counting calories with him, and I lasted 3 days. However, I learned so much. Number one, I don't drink enough water. Number
Oh
two,
yeah,
oh my
that's
God, it
important.
is hard to take in all those proteins, right? I'm just like, oh my God, I'm eating again. And so, but I did lose some solid weight after 3 days of just calorie counting and working out at the same time. But, I was talking to Jessica about this, and we were talking about how some people were like, oh, I just want to lose weight, right? And losing weight is one thing, but do it in a very mathematical manner. That's looking at counting your calories, right? Because it says so much about you and your behavior and the things that you have the tendency to do and the food that you have the tendency to eat and things like that. Because if you're looking, I love rice, girl. If I don't have my rice,
Gotta have the rice.
it's like American people and their bread, okay? I want my rice. And if I don't have it, I feel like I'm drained, I'm exhausted. And so when I was counting my calories, I was just like, oh, okay, well, half a cup of rice equals X number of whatever. I don't remember. But I was surprised to learn that it was actually what I've been eating all along. Like, just kind of like the proportion of my food isn't humongous, right? It's already managed appropriately. My problem was not taking in enough calories. And then
Oh
like,
yeah.
yeah, and then the micro numbers behind all of that stuff is like breaking it down between your protein intake and all of that things as well, which is very calculated and probably if anyone wants to lose weight, that's probably the best way to lose weight is just to do it mathematically, scientifically. I don't
Yeah.
claim to be a nutritionist. I just had those 3 days that I counted calories.
Well, and honestly, too, like a lot of my clients' weight loss is on the back, on their radar of what why they want to come to me. But that's not the first thing I focus on. I focus on gut health because
Yeah.
when your symptoms, your systems in your body, it's kind of like hair in a clogged in a drain. So, obviously you shower and the water can go through the drain, but eventually it starts to get clogged and it starts to come back up. That's the same with gut health. Is like once all your systems are like cleaned out, you have really good digestion, you have reproduction, you have your hormones are balanced, all of that. And then there's also weight loss because everything's regulated in your body. So weight loss is sort of that awesome bonus that you get with me because we're cleaning out the gut health and making it into like a really great space first. But yeah, who doesn't want to shed a little extra weight, especially for summer and swimsuit season?
Right, right. Um, okay, so you've had such a creative, multi-passionate career. What do you think was the common thread that always kept you going?
It's really that why
Mm-hmm.
again.
Mm-hmm.
Because as an entrepreneur, it can be a very lonely career also because you're an entrepreneur and I'm a solo entrepreneur, so I'm by myself and most times you are as well. And so you're doing all the behind the scenes that no one sees any of that. They just see
Right.
the stuff that you flash on social media or your website or talking in person.
Mhm.
But it can get really lonely. And, the only person that's going to cheer you on truly is yourself. And it's going to dig you out of those holes where you just want to quit. You're like, why am I doing this? Because a lot of times you'll work a lot for free until you start to see the money come in. So you're like, I'm putting in 5,000 hours, but I'm not getting paid for it.
Yeah.
Of course, that does come and that happens and success does happen, but you have to put in the work first. And so knowing your why and digging deep in those moments where you're like, why am I doing this? That's what gets me through um hard times, even with my functional nutrition. Like, I do a lot of work behind the scenes, but then I had a client who literally said, like, texted me the other day and was like, you gave me my life back. And
Oh,
like, I was like, I had goosebumps because that is the biggest gift, knowing that she's only 65. She's still so young. A lot of, she could have easily gave up and just sat in a rocker and gained more weight and had more health issues and popped more pills for it. But she
yeah.
decided to take her body, her life in her own hands and do something about it. She's off medications, she's lost weight, she has more energy, she feels good, and she's happy. And that is like why I do that, because people get their life back. And so when I'm by myself wondering, like, sometimes just having a hard moment, I'm like, that is why I keep going.
Yeah, it's those little moments that really truly keep us going. It's knowing the lives that we've impacted, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. That's great. So you have Miss Coco. She's what, 3 now?
Yes, little cocoa bean.
Little Coco Beans 3. I've known her before she was born. Um, how do you stay grounded with like and aligned with your body's needs while you're juggling having a 3-year-old? She's all over the place. She loves to dance.
Oh yeah.
Your salon, the nutritionist, space and all of that stuff. And then you're also a wife, right? So how do you do it all?
Well, I feel very fortunate to have an amazing spouse, Gary, that he's always been super supportive. He's very much a 50-50 partner. And we're really good at communicating to each other. Like, we understand the importance of filling up our own cups as individuals. So, if I'm feeling overwhelmed and I need some me time so that I can serve as a better mom, a better wife, a better human, have a clearer head, then he'll totally take over and take our daughter for the afternoon and go do something so that I can have my personal self-care. Because I always say you cannot pour from an empty cup. And
Yeah.
it is so important to keep filling your own cup up because it just pours out to everyone else that you surround yourself with. So I do feel lucky to have my partner to help me with that. But it's also like prioritizing that day. I used to be the kind of person that looked so far in advance to my schedule. Like, what does my week look like? What does my month look like? What does my year look like? Stress me out more because I would then look at my 5,000 to-do lists from today, this week, next month, this year, and I'm like, holy crap, I got a lot going on. But when I look at just one day ahead of schedule or even a couple days, I'm like, oh, okay, what is my priority for Tuesday? Is it to work a little bit more so that I can get X, Y, and Z done? Is it I haven't really spent a lot of good quality time with Charlotte, so I need to, like, my mama bones are like wanting to embrace her and spend more quality time with her. So I really look and prioritize day to day instead of trying, like, we can't be 100% at every little thing in life, right? But we can
Right.
be 100% at like one thing that day or two things that day, but
Love it.
something's got to give a little bit. So just kind of prioritizing what's the priority for that day
Yeah.
has been helpful.
Good. I love that. Um, we talk about making our 5-year plan and then breaking it down and then your monthly, your weeklies and that's not a bad thing, definitely. Everybody should kind of have that kind of outlook, but I love the idea of just take it a day at a time, maybe 2 days at a time, right? So that you don't feel so overwhelmed. And then you may be surprised by how much you can achieve by just doing that and not all over the place trying to achieve the goal that you've set for your monthly goal and then you're like silently working on it over here, which is taking over your day because we're humans, we get distracted, right?
Yeah, there's a reason why Trader Joe's only has three pasta sauces, and it's because people get paralyzed with having too many options. It's the same as your to-do list.
Yeah.
If you are looking at all the things you have going on, you get paralyzed. You don't want to do any of it, so you're just like, oh, held up there. But if you only have three options or three tasks to do that day, you're like, okay, let's make pasta. If you have 50, you're like, forget pasta. I don't even want it anymore because I'm too paralyzed by how many pasta sauces there are to choose from. So it just makes my life easier.
I hear ya. I hear ya. That's the thing that I'm trying to be better at as well with like the different products and services that I come out with. It's like, okay, there's just too much here and a confused buyer does not buy, right? I hear that and I am one of those people. Like, okay, I would just walk away because I have to make a decision and right now I'm not capable of making a decision. I don't know which pasta sauce I want to cook tonight, so I'm just not gonna cook. Just gonna go out and eat somewhere.
I'm gonna go eat that rice.
That rice, girl. Okay, I will. Yeah. You know what? If there's no pasta sauce, I'll just make the rice. It's all good. I eat rice with
That's the wrong.
anything.
Thank you for breakfast.
Oh yeah, definitely. Um, okay, so I want to get onto this exciting topic of you, Gary, and Charlotte Coco. Just packing up and going to Spain. Tell me all about that. Tell me about like what your yours and Gary's mindsets were when you came up with this and where are you now in that journey? I want to touch on that because I think it's very inspiring. We all talk about, oh, I just want to go somewhere for a year, or I want to go live somewhere else. I would love to be an expat here, take my family and maybe go live a simpler life there. And a lot of us just say it, wish it, hope it, but never do it. But you, Gary, and Coco are doing it. Tell me about all of that. What was that starting point?
Yeah, full send. So we always knew we wanted to live in a different country, but we thought it'd be like 10 years from now. And we live in the PNW. As you know, it rains like 7 months out of the year. And
Yes.
so last year we were really intentional about traveling. And we were like, okay, during the winter months, let's like just keep traveling so that we can get through the 7 months of rain. And we decided last fall to go to Mallorca for 2 months. It actually, we planned it like a month before we went. It wasn't part of our winter travel, but we just felt called to like go there. And so we went. We actually ended up extending our stay because we loved it so much. And we just fell in love with the culture, the people. It's an island. It's sunny 320 days a year. There's no burnout culture. I met people instantly. Like I went to the cafe twice, and all of a sudden, me and Charlotte are getting invited to the waitresses like kids' birthday party. Like we met people at the park. We had dinner with a couple that we just met. Like people were very welcoming, and it's really about like not having your phone, looking people in the eye, having a 4 hour meal, like just that community that the people. It was living life. Not once in 2 months, and like you had said before, like I beautifully curated my house. We built it 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I picked every tile, I picked every brick, every color. I built the best
Yeah.
furniture around that. And when we were out just living life, I not once thought about my house, my furniture, what was in the 5,000 kitchen cabinets or any of that because we were truly just having like slow morning coffees, going for beach walks, like just getting lost. And so when we got back from it, we were like, okay, and like maybe a couple years we'll like move there. But then my husband's job he's been remote for 5 years and he lives, an hour from the city, 2 hours with traffic. And so they were calling him back into the office, which meant, he'd be gone 8 hours a day at work, plus the 3 to 4 hours in traffic. So let's just say 12 hours a day
Yeah.
gone. So we'd see him on the weekends, and then it's like, what kind of a shell of a human are you going to be on the weekends? Like, you're going to be so tired, you're barely going to see your daughter during the week, and then the weekends you're going to be so exhausted. and not totally be present. And I was like,
Yeah.
for what? To have this beautiful house to afford this? Like, that's not living life for us. And so we really, that kind of speeded up our process a little bit faster. And we realized like that doesn't align with who we are anymore. I don't want my husband to have a job that he feels like he has to have just so we could afford our house and this lifestyle when all we want is like a simple beach life. And so yeah, we rented out our house May 1st, so we are out of here. We had a big moving sale, which was so bizarre having people like come in and just like grab pictures off your wall and like go away with them. But it
Yeah.
was so, I thought I'd be like sad, like I'd be running down the street, like, give me my picture back. But it was so freeing. Like I didn't miss any of it. It was actually this big weight lifted. And that also just shows us like how we know we're doing the right things because that felt so freeing.
Yeah.
So we're gonna head to Wisconsin for a couple of months where our family lives, drop off a couple of keepsakes like the wedding dress and like Charlotte's first outfit. And then we'll be submitting our visa paperwork in September in Spain.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And do you guys, so Gary is, I don't know if I can say this, but is he quitting his job?
Yes. Yes. They don't know yet, but yes, he
Okay,
is.
okay. And we also didn't say which company. Okay.
Yes.
Why do you
Yes.
think you feel so um and it's definitely nice to have a partner, right? While doing all of this. Um how do you think, or let me see how I should ask this question. How did you have this foresight, I guess, to get yourselves in a financial situation where you're like, let's just sell everything and go live somewhere else and quit our jobs, and I'm going to work online to support my clients. Like, does that make you kind of like wake up at night like sweating nightmares or
I mean, it's definitely different when you have a child, right? Like you always want to
that
make sure you
too?
can provide for
Yeah.
them.
Yes.
And for us, like my husband, we have invested our money in different avenues, so that's helpful. We're in the stock market. We have 401s. We have savings. I'm building my business, all of that. But it was one of those where it was like, would we regret if we didn't do it? Like
Mhm.
would in 10 years would I ask myself, God, I wish we would have just sold everything and did it. Or in like when we're like 65, are we gonna be like, oh, we should have just did it? Like, what if it would have worked out? And I asked my husband, I was like, would that eat you alive more than going, selling everything, going, failing, and having to move back to Wisconsin and live in our parents' basement?
Yeah.
And we both were like, yes, we would regret not doing
Not
it.
doing it.
And so that we're like, okay, we have to do it because I don't want to live with regrets. That will eat my soul alive more than failing.
Yeah.
And thank God we have a backup plan to just move in with our parents in their basement in Wisconsin if we had to. It's not ideal, but we're also very like resilient people, right? He's a lot of skills. I have a lot of skills that we know and trust ourselves that if worst case scenario, we will find a way to make extra money and make it work if we need to. But yes, we have put away money, we have invested, although that stock market went, but um but we do have means and we know how long we can live with the money that we have. My husband's very good at spreadsheets and budgeting and how much we can live each day. So I have never been on a tight budget, but you know what? It's one of those where we do it because we get so much more. We gain the waking up without an alarm, the
Yeah.
present time with our family, the beach life, the simple life, and that's more valuable to us.
I love it. I love it. So then, what are you most excited and maybe most nervous about this shift into this new chapter of yours?
I'm most excited. Oh God, there's so much to be excited about,
Yeah.
but I'm excited to just like really, literally, we're creating our dream life and we're just living it. We were trying to vacation our life in 2024, but we spent 4 months vacationing essentially. And I'm so excited to have every day feel like Saturday and not like I need a vacation from my life. And so we
Right.
are creating that. And so every day we like I love that how we walked everywhere. So I would walk like 20,000 steps a day. You go to the city and all of a sudden a random parade is happening or a drum line and it's a, Friday night and everything's free. It's just we're literally going to be living our the life that we're creating, and I'm so excited about that. And nervous, um I mean, I'm not really nervous about anything because I know that we're just walking through ignoring the fear and just going just
Love
full
it.
send, like we're gonna handle whatever situation comes our way with grace because like what else can you do?
Yeah, yeah, I love it. What advice would you give to women who's thinking about maybe pivoting their careers or just starting something new? You've done it multiple times since I've known you. What would be that one or two advice you'd give someone?
Do it. Do it. Just do it. Do it. Like we overthink everything. And as I was going through all of my desk drawers the other day, throwing everything away that was in it, came across my jewelry tags. And I came across my third version of a jewelry tag, which was like on this ugly cardstock with this black print, and it was really ugly. And then I came across my jewelry tag that's my current one, which is like this beautiful pearlized cardstock with beautiful cursive, my name on it and all of that. And I was looking at these tags, and that was like my third version and my probably my 10th version at this point. And I had my jewelry business for, like 9 years. And I thought, what if I had never started? Like,
Yeah,
wow, like look at how far I've come. And like my even third attempt at a jewelry card was still crap, but like the end result was amazing. And so I always say just start. You're never gonna be a pro at anything when you first start. Do you think Michael Jordan was a pro when he first started? He was actually cut from the basketball team, and then he became this huge pro basketball player. So you
exactly.
just have to start. Like literally ignore the fears. I always when a fear creeps into my head, I have a saying that I say, and that helps nip any story that my creative mind is trying to build in my head so that I can literally just focus on like, what am I doing? Like, don't let those fears creep in. Have your little saying, pop it back out of your head and keep tunnel vision on what you're doing and just do it. Just start.
I love it. I love it. You and I are pretty much kind of cut from the same cloth when it comes to that kind of mindset. I am always of that mindset of what if I don't do it? Like, what am I missing out on? Right. And
Hmm.
so I too don't have a lot of fears when it comes to like trying something new, pivoting. Especially if you're ready to move on and do other things, when you're burnt out, when you're no longer happy, when you just know that that new season for you is just right around the corner. It's like I tell people, and this is the one thing that I used to do for myself too, is take away the word I'm afraid of. I'm afraid to. Swap in the word I'm excited. Because the moment you switch those two words, your brain switches and then you're happier and you're looking forward to it. So instead of saying, I am afraid to go to Spain with my family for a year and to figure it out. Or you can say, I'm so excited to be selling everything and going to Spain with my family and living somewhere for a year, maybe even longer than that, right? And so if you
Hmm.
take away the word, take out the word scared or I'm afraid and put in the word excited, oh my God, huge shift.
Yeah, well, and excited is way better than afraid. I do it with I get to and I have to. Like
Mm,
I honestly do not like going to the grocery store, but I say, "Oh God, I have to go to the grocery store to get food." But now just changing I get to go to the grocery store is it totally changes your mindset. Set like what a luxury. I get to go to the grocery store. I get to
yeah.
afford groceries for my family. And that was a huge unlock for myself personally, just saying I get to do that.
Yeah, yeah, it's just practicing gratification in that way, right? That's awesome.
Hmm.
So when
Vitamin
people
G. Vitamin gratitude.
exactly. Okay, so this podcast is Freedom by Design. it's, freedom to me, it's location freedom, it's time freedom, it's money freedom. For you, what is freedom by design for you?
That's a great question. Freedom by design is for me location as well. Being a hairstylist trapped behind a chair, that was like my only way to make income. And so just being able to literally travel the world in any time zone and have a successful business is freedom, in my eyes, freedom for my family. It frees up time for them. My daughter's only 3 years old. She's the most precious thing. Like, so being able to have a business where I can create a life and change people's life, but also still be so present in my own life and have quality time with my family. That's freedom of design.
I love it. I love it. So, Jenny, if someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they find you?
You can call me at, no, I'm just kidding.
Her number is.
My number
I
is.
text her.
So you can follow me on the gram at Jenny, JENNYREH _ and my website is Jenny, JENNYREH.com.
Awesome, awesome. Well,
Stalk
thank
me.
you so much for being on with me. This was so much fun. I love it's just like us girls just chatting at the salon,
Yeah,
right? Pretty
I love
much
it.
keeping up with each other. We should probably do like a once a 2 month segment with you being in Spain because I want to keep up with you guys, see how you're doing, see what you're up to, see if anything's changed. Because sometimes we set a plan out to do A, and then we have to even pivot a little bit from that, right? So it'll be interesting to kind of see your journey and how it evolves and things like that. So yeah, so we definitely will keep in touch. You're like my lifelong friend now. You can't go anywhere. You know that. You
I
can't go to
know.
Spain and hide.
If there's any friend that would come visit, I know for sure it would be you.
Oh yeah. Yep, I'll be like, I'm bored. Where are you now?
Yes, I love that. We can both report live from the beaches of Mallorca.
Oh, that would be so much fun.
Mhm.
But yeah, so Jenny's story is such a powerful reminder that freedom isn't always about having more. It's often about choosing less, but really making it more meaningful, right? And, whether it's tuning into your health, stepping into a new career or packing up for like a slower life, like Jen and her family are doing. It's all about designing a life that feels good on the inside, not just the one that looks good on the outside. So, if today's conversation sparked something new in you, share this episode with a friend who needs a little motivation or a little push to make that bold move. And remember, anywhere is possible when you build with intention. So until next time, keep designing that life that you don't need a vacation from. Jenny, thank you so much for your time. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you. This is awesome.
Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you're feeling inspired and you're ready to take the next step towards building a business and a life that truly excites you. If you loved this episode, I'd be so grateful if you'd subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone who could use a little extra motivation today. Don't forget to connect with me on social media or check out our website at listingstudios.com. Check out the resources mentioned in this episode, and you'll find all the details in the show notes. Until next time, keep dreaming big, taking action, and designing the life that you deserve. Remember, anywhere is possible through e-commerce. I'll catch you in the next episode.